String skipping today. Let's do it. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Truth Guitar Method. My name is Joel. You can call me Joel, son of Caesar. And yes, my dad's name really is Caesar. So today is lesson 10 of the level 2 beginner guitar routine lessons. And this is actually the last lesson for the level 2. It's called string skipping. And string skipping is another form of finger confusion. If you haven't seen the first video of finger confusion, you might want to go here, check that video out and understand what finger confusion is, and then come back and then continue here so that you understand why finger confusion is super important for the development of your fingers in guitar playing. Okay, so let's get started with string skipping. Here we go. So in a previous lesson, we talked about finger confusion and how your fingers want to do whatever they want to do. They want to do whatever they're used to doing. And most of us are used to moving in a sequential order, in a sequential pattern, something that's natural. In this case, what we talked about before was how our fingers want to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's natural. And when you start to play this way, your fingers have trouble. But then after practicing for so many weeks or for so many days or for so many months, your fingers get used to this pattern and it becomes kind of like secondhand movement, right? Like ballistic movement, like natural movement. It's so easy. And the problem is once we get lost in this easy motion, the instant that we try to confuse our fingers or try to introduce a new pattern, like maybe 1, 3, 2, 4, your fingers don't react the way that they should. Instead, when you try to command them to go to 3, they automatically want to go to 2. And then when you're going to go to 3, they want to go to 3. So that one feels kind of natural. And when you want to go to 4, they go to a different spot. And so our job as guitar players is to confuse our fingers as much as possible. In the previous lesson of finger confusion, we talked about how to confuse the fingers in a linear motion, meaning in one string. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then confusing them to do 1, 3, 2, 4, and then furthering that to maybe doing 1, 4, 2, 3, or maybe 1, 4, 3, 2, or maybe 1, 2, 4, 3, or whatever the pattern is. Well, string skipping is kind of finger confusion. See, the thing is, when you are playing at the very beginning level and you start doing exercises, for example, going from the first string to the second, to the third, to the fourth, fifth, sixth, stuff that we do all the time. So your fingers are used to going from the first to the second to the third, third and fourth in a sequential pattern, but they're not used to skipping strings. Now, skipping strings literally just means to skip a string. So if I were on the first string, I would play a pattern, skip the second string and go to the third string. Skip the fourth string and go to the fifth. Right? And it forces your fingers to have to stretch out of their normal comfort zone, which is just a tiny little move. So what we're going to be using, the 4 exercises that I'm presenting to you today, are using one of the scale patterns that we learned this year, which was the G pentatonic shape pattern. Now that pattern takes place anywhere you want, right? I'm sticking to maybe the 5th position is probably the best place here because the frets are perfect. They're not too wide and they're not too narrow. So the G pentatonic, in case you don't know this, is starts on the 6th string and it goes 5, 8, and then 5 on the next one, 7. And then 5, 7, and then 5, 7, and then 5, 8, and then 5, 8. So you get this. So that's a G-shaped pentatonic pattern. Now what we're going to do is we're going to play the pattern, but we're going to skip a string. In other words, we're going to do the 6th string and then skip the 5th, and then do the 4th, then skip the 3rd, and then do the 2nd. Now when we get to the 2nd, we're going to go to the 1st, so we're not going to skip there. But once we arrive at 1st, then we're going to skip the 2nd and go to the 3rd. And then we're going to skip the 4th and go to the 5th. And then we won't skip, we'll end on the 6th. So in essence, what it would sound like is like this. 6th string, 4th, 2nd, 1st, 3rd, 5th, 6th. Now in reality, I'm not going up and then down. All I'm working on is 1st finger, 3rd finger, 2nd, and 4th finger. I'm not working on this going in reverse pattern. I'm literally going 1, 4, 1, 3. 1, 4, 1, 3, using those fingers. Okay, so the idea is to get used to the skipping on this hand. So over here on the right hand, what you're going to do is you're going to do 5, 8, down, up, and then you're going to skip and land on the 4th. 2nd, 1st, go up to the 3rd, 5th, and end on the 6th. And you're going to want to do this by 4s first. In other words, 4 repeated times per note, so you can get used to the spot that you have to go to. It's going to feel a little awkward at first because, like I said, your fingers are going to be all confused because they're already used to doing it in a certain way. So what you're doing is you're confusing them. So you're going to want to do it by 4s, then by 3s, then by 2s, and then by 1s. Here are those exercises. All right, so those are the exercises that you got to be doing when it comes to string skipping. Now, what this offers is, yes, your fingers are now confused and you're forcing them to have to think outside the box and not just in a sequential order. What this does for you is when you're improvising or when you're soloing, it allows you to now understand the feeling of going from one string to a totally different string. Now, if you want to further this into a more complicated context, then you want to skip maybe 2 strings. Okay? Or maybe skip all strings. There's really no ending. You can continue to confuse your fingers in any way, shape, or form. And what you get out of it is experience in your fingers, experience in your playing. And the more experience your fingers have when you encounter these kinds of things in music that you want to play or while you're improvising, then your fingers are already used to doing these kinds of things. All right? So definitely practice your string skipping. Guys, thank you so much for coming to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, hit a like. Make sure you subscribe if you think you might benefit from these lessons. If you don't like the video, then hit a dislike and then let me know, what do you think you could benefit from? What kind of lesson would you like? Now, if you have not checked out, there is a giveaway going on Truth Guitar Method. Make sure that you go to truthguitarmethod.com, go to the giveaway tab, read the rules, check out what you can win. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're doing 10 giveaways, and you might be eligible for all 10. You just got to go read those those rules. Okay? All right, guys, I'll see you guys later. Remember, there's a lesson this Saturday coming up on string skipping as we go through the live session of how to string skip and doing all these exercises, plus other exercises that we learned throughout this series. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.